Welcome to Godsmacked, where AI collides with ontology, and your old self doesn't make it out alive. Not safe, not scripted, not sorry. This is for founders, thinkers, and creators who crave more than conversation. They want confrontation. We don't talk about change, we engineer it. No fluff, no filter, just tools, truth, and transformation. Welcome to your initiation.
So if you've been watching the markets this week, you might be getting this weird sense of whiplash.
Oh, definitely. It's
Yeah.
a very strange story playing out right now.
It is. It's this sort of subtle drama where on one side you have the infrastructure players, the NVIDIAs, the data centers, and it's just an absolute boomtown.
Records breaking, champagne everywhere.
Exactly. And then you look at the other side of the screen. You look at traditional SaaS.
The darlings.
Yeah.
The safe bets for the last, 15 years?
Salesforce, Intuit, Adobe,
Yeah.
they're all just bleeding out. It's not a sudden crash. It's this steady, almost terrifying leak.
And there's one word for it. There's a buzzword that's been floating around all week that explains the whole thing.
Selfware.
Selfware.
It sounds so harmless, but that one word is causing a genuine panic.
It sounds like something you'd get at IKEA, but it's actually an extinction-level event for an entire business model.
Okay, so that's our mission today. We're going to unpack this selfware phenomenon. We're going to start with the massive release of Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.6 and why it's got software engineers maybe questioning their life choices.
And we'll look at OpenAI's response. They've launched this Frontier platform, which is a totally different, much more enterprise-focused approach.
Right. And we have to follow the money. There's a new $200 million deal between OpenAI and Snowflake that changes everything about data security.
And then the dark side. We have to talk about the safety frameworks, the so-called tripwires, being designed to stop these models from, say, helping someone build a biological weapon.
It is a lot. Welcome to the weekly AI brief. It is Wednesday, February 11, 2026.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with Anthropic, because this self-aware idea really clicked into place when they dropped Claude Opus 4.6 on, February 5th?
Yep, last week.
Yeah.
And the specs are, well, they're aggressive.
Aggressive is one word for it. The headline number is that 1 million token context window.
Which is still in beta, but yeah, it's huge. But, context is just memory. The real story, the thing that's making people nervous, is the hybrid reasoning engine.
And just to be clear for everyone listening, hybrid reasoning, that's not just some marketing term they cooked up.
No, not at all. It's a real shift. So older models, they just predict the next word. Then we got models that could sort of think before they responded. Opus 4.6 applies that thinking specifically to complex workflows.
So not just writing a function, but understanding the entire architecture of a project.
Exactly. And the benchmarks prove it out. It hit 90.2% on the big law bench, which is insane for legal reasoning.
Yeah.
But the one that got me was Osworld.
72.7%.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't follow this stuff, Osworld isn't testing poetry. It's testing if an AI can actually use a computer. Can it open a browser, click things, use a spreadsheet, run commands?
And 72.7% means it's about as good as a pretty competent human intern. That's why people are calling this the ChatGPT moment for coding.
Yeah.
It's not helping you work, it is the work.
I saw that story. I think it was the CTO of Vercel. Said he finished a project that was scoped for a full year.
In 1 week.
In a week.
And that right there is the threat of selfware. If one person can build an enterprise-grade app in a week, why are you paying $1,000 a month for a SaaS subscription? You just build what you need.
The code itself becomes disposable. I saw another CEO who said he froze all his engineering hires, said this tool made his current team 5x more productive.
That's the scary math, isn't it? Because if you make 5 people 5 times more productive, you don't need 25 people.
You just need the 5.
Or the optimistic take is you keep all 25 and you build 25 times more stuff. But for Salesforce and Adobe, their entire business model was based on software being hard to build, and that moat just evaporated.
And it's getting integrated fast. Opus 4.6 is already available on Microsoft Foundry.
Which is a brilliant move.
Yeah.
Microsoft owns the enterprise. Anthropic is basically saying, don't buy our car, just put our engine in yours.
Okay, so while Anthropic is arming the individual developer, OpenAI is coming at this from the complete opposite direction with their new platform, Frontier.
Totally different. If Anthropic is for the maker, Frontiers for the manager.
I loved their tagline, move from chatting to employing.
It says it all, right? Frontier is designed to manage whole fleets of AI agents. And fleet is the key word. We're talking thousands of little AI workers running at the same time, each with a specific job.
The problem with that in the past was always control. What does this bot have access to? Is it just making things up?
And that's what Frontier tries to solve with identity and governance. Each agent gets a unique ID, like an employee number. It has permissions. You can give the sales agent access to your CRM, but block it from payroll.
So you're literally slotting it into your org chart. It's not a tool. It's a digital employee.
A digital headcount, yeah. And they all share context from your data warehouses, your internal apps. It's all powered by their new GPT 5.2 thinking series.
And we finally have some benchmarks for 5.2.
We do. On Sat2B Bench Pro, which is the gold standard for fixing real-world software bugs, it scored 55.6%.
Wait, hold on. That sounds low compared to the 90% we saw with Opus.
But Sat2B Bench Pro is a different beast. It's incredibly difficult. It's not writing from scratch. It's diagnosing and fixing complex bugs from actual GitHub issues. 55.6%? It's staggering, actually.
It means it can solve more than half of your engineering tickets without a human touching them.
Correct. And on the Tau2 bench for telecoms, it scored 98.7%. So it's basically a perfect expert in that entire industry.
Which explains why you see names like HP, Uber, State Farm, Cisco, T-Mobile, all piloting this.
Future Research had a great take on it. They said Frontier is trying to close the gap between model potential and enterprise execution. It gives companies the management layer they've been missing.
It's turning AI from a cool feature into actual plumbing. Infrastructure.
Exactly.
And speaking of infrastructure, let's talk about the money. Because all of this costs an astronomical amount to build.
We are talking nation-state level spending. Gartner just projected global AI spend will hit $2.52 trillion in 2026 alone.
But the quote that really just floored me was from Jensen Huang at NVIDIA. He called this the largest infrastructure build-out in human history.
The number he gave was just, it's hard to process.
$85 trillion over 15 years.
I mean, that sounds fake. 85 trillion, that's 4 times the current U.S. GDP. Where does that even come from?
Is that real money being spent, or is that just projected value?
It's a mix. It's the chips, yes, but it's also overhauling the entire energy grid, building new data centers, new cooling, new fiber. We are physically rebuilding the world to power a synthetic one.
And a big part of that is where the data actually lives, which brings us to the Snowflake deal.
The $200 million partnership with OpenAI.
Right, and on the surface, it's just another deal. But when you dig into it, this solves a massive problem for big companies.
It solves for data gravity.
Can you explain that?
Sure. Data is heavy. If you're a bank, you might have petabytes of data sitting inside your secure Snowflake environment. You can't just send all of that to OpenAI for analysis.
The security risk alone would be a nightmare, not to mention the time it would take.
Exactly. So your data is in the vault, and the AI brain is outside. This deal brings the brain to the data. They are embedding OpenAI's models directly inside Snowflake's AI data cloud.
So the data never leaves the secure zone?
Never. The analysis happens right there. So a manager can just type in plain English, why did our sales in the Midwest drop last quarter?
And instead of an analyst spending a week on it?
The agent, running securely on the data, just gives you the answer. It unlocks all that proprietary data without the security headache.
It's the dream scenario for enterprise AI. But, and this is the pivot we have to make, when you build something that can reason, code, and analyze raw data, you're also building something that can be incredibly dangerous.
And that's where we shift from talking about profits to talking about, well, survival. The Carnegie Endowment for International Peace just put out a huge report on what they're calling Tripwire capabilities.
Tripwire, I like that term. It feels very final.
That's the idea. It's a simple if-then commitment. If an AI model develops a certain dangerous capability, if it crosses a tripwire, then all development on it stops, period, until it can be made safe.
So what are these tripwires? What's the worst case scenario they're worried about?
There are 3 main ones. The first is bio and chemical weapons.
And this is more than just the AI giving you a recipe it found online, right?
Well, way more. The tripwire is when the AI can guide a complete novice, someone with zero chemistry background, through the entire process. From sourcing ingredients to synthesis to actually deploying a weapon of mass destruction. It's like having an evil expert in your pocket.
You're lowering the barrier to entry for mass terrorism to basically 0.
Precisely. The second tripwire is cyber operations. The ability to take a mid-level state actor and instantly give them the hacking capabilities of a top-tier intelligence agency.
So a small rogue state can suddenly compete with the NSA.
And the third one is a bit more subtle. It's persuasion. The ability to deploy millions of AI agents to have personalized one-on-one conversations to, say, manipulate an election. It's the industrialization of propaganda.
So who enforces this? I can't imagine OpenAI wants to just stop development if they cross a line.
Well, that's the problem. In the EU, you have the AI Act kicking in this August. But in the US, it's mostly self-regulation, which is why there's so much talk about AVR.
The new nonprofit from Miles Brundage, who used to run policy at OpenAI.
Exactly. He left specifically to create an independent third-party auditor. His whole point is you can't have these companies grading their own homework. You need an outside group testing for these tripwires.
It feels like a race we're losing. The capabilities are just moving so much faster than the safety measures.
They usually do.
Let's bring this back to the commercial world for a minute. Because that same persuasive technology that has governments worried is also totally changing how brands operate.
It's the same fundamental shift. We're moving out of the generative era, making content, and into the decisioning era.
Okay, decisioning. The AI is making the decision for me.
Essentially, yes. We're heading for a zero-click economy. You ask your AI an answer, it gives you the answer. It doesn't give you 10 blue links. You never visit the company's website.
Which is a huge problem for brands. How do you control your own story if nobody sees your stuff?
You can't. You're now at the mercy of what's being called algorithmic reputation. The AI might have formed its opinion of your brand based on a 5-year-old negative article, not your current website.
So my company could have completely changed, but the AI is stuck in the past, and that's the reality it presents to users.
And the user never knows. That hallucination becomes fact.
That's a marketing nightmare. What's the fix? You can't send a press release to a large language model.
All new industries popping up. Tools like TiltED, which basically audit how AIs see your brand, they help you find and retire old toxic content to clean up your digital history.
It's search engine optimization, but for an audience of robots.
Yeah, but here's the best part. There's a human countertrend happening. As AI gets more and more perfect grammar, perfect images, it all starts to feel a little fake.
You can just tell. You read a post and you can just smell the GPT on it. It's too clean.
Right. So you have brands like Dick's Sporting Goods doing the exact opposite. They are leaning into messy, unpolished human stories. Bad lighting, shaky cameras, real employees tripping over their words.
Using the flaws to prove they're real.
In a world of perfect synthetics, the only way to prove you have a pulse is to show your imperfections.
It's incredible. We're building this $85 trillion machine to create perfection, and the winning strategy is to be messy.
The irony is not lost.
So let's try to tie this all together. We've talked about the end of SaaS, the rise of AI agents, the shift in data, these terrifying tripwires. What's the one big takeaway from all this?
I think the takeaway is that the time for experimenting is over. 2026 is the year AI stops being a tool you use and starts being a coworker you manage. The software market is breaking because the old model is dead. And infrastructure is everything, because this new intelligence needs a new world to live in.
So for everyone listening, the founders, the executives, if your plan is to wait and see how this all shakes out, you're already behind.
The foundation is being poured as we speak. If you're not helping build it, you're going to get paved over.
And that really brings us to our final thought. If you're listening and you're feeling that pressure, if this shift to agentic AI feels overwhelming, if you're looking at your business and wondering how you survive Selfware, please don't just add learn AI to your to-do list.
You can't do it alone. It's too much too fast.
Yep. You need to join the Forge. And we don't just teach you. This isn't another course. We build custom AI solutions with you to solve your actual business problems. You bring us the problems, we build the solutions together.
Stop playing catch-up. Start building your future.
The link is right there in the description. That is all for this weekly AI brief. Stay curious, stay messy, and we will talk to you next week.
You've been godsmacked, but listening is the easy part. Now it's time to build. Join us in the Forge, where the episode becomes action and clarity gets weaponized. First initiation's on us. Access is limited. Courage is required.